Hi guys. Sorry about that. Are you guys going to come back on? Let's see if I can put this here. Hi. Sorry about that. My computer battery died. Shoot. I'm going to have to start bringing my plug-in. Oh, good. Susan here's too. Ruth, Susan, Light in the Piazza. Are you coming back too? Yeah, I thought I had everything all planned out. I have extra batteries for my lights. I have an extra light. I have my mic charged. Yeah, I wasn't even watching because I'm over here. I didn't stop to think. My phone can do a lot longer time for the lives, and I guess my computer battery goes a lot faster. So next time I'll have it plugged in so that won't happen. So, yeah, let me see if I can set this down here because, yeah, so I have you propped up on my computer. So, okay. Yay. So yeah, so we were talking about the fingers. You know, it's like, I just think it gives you that extra grounding and stability. So you're really grounding into your arms, and that whenever you're grounded, it just makes that contraction tighter. That's the way that I would explain that. Oh, so we were going to try, I was going to show you the pike ups. So let me just scoot this back a little bit. So make sure that I'm on camera. Actually, I'm going to turn this so I can get farther away. So the pike ups, you are, yeah, starfish, starfish hands. I like that. So yeah, it's going to be the same for these two. So this is like the knee-ins, but the only thing is you're not going to bend your knees. You're keeping your legs totally straight. And these are much harder than the knee-ins when you're doing both, bringing both knees in at the same time. So you're basically, you're bringing your feet closer to your hands, but you're thinking of like using your core to butt lift while your feet come in closer. So you really have to, yeah, the pike ups. So it's kind of, you're gonna try to look like, envision yourself looking like a upside down V. Is what the end goal is. So that's what you're picturing in your mind. So plank position, core tight. Five is good for me. Oh my goodness. We should have started with those. Did you guys try those? That one kind of made me sweat. Wow. Are you training by osmosis? Yeah, those are kind of neat because it's like when you get to a certain point where you've like reached it, and then if you just tighten your abs a little bit harder, you can like pull. I always envision it as like you're pulling your butt up 1 more inch. Yeah, yeah, you'll notice like different body parts flexing to help stabilize you and to yeah, because I don't know if the glutes are really helping to pull yourself up, but I think they tighten to stabilize you because, well, they could be helping. I don't know. I never thought of that. Because I think like part of your core, I'm going to drink a protein drink when we're done. Yeah, because part of your core, like when you're doing exercises, when you're standing up, you engage your core. Part of your core or part of your stabilizer muscles are your core, your inner thighs, and your glutes. So, I don't know. Do you guys want to do one more of those? I don't think I'm going to get 5 this time. I'm curious just to try a couple more to see what my glutes do. Yeah. You guys want to try one more? I'm going to try maybe like, maybe 2 or 3. Okay, good. Yay. Okay, wait, I missed. Yes, one more. Easy for you to say. Okay. Yeah, I think my main focus was just like all on my core and pulling my butt up. I was thinking of kind of pulling my butt up and then flexing at the top. I wasn't aware that my glutes were flexing, but let me do it again. Okay. Okay, so I paid attention to it. Yes, you can flex your glutes. You can feel them flex. I was trying not to flex mine. I could feel my quads tighten a little bit, but I was trying to use just all abs. And so I was trying not to flex them. I don't know if that makes sense. Because I was trying to put it like directly into the core. Yeah. Yeah, triceps and quads. Did you feel your quads? Yeah. Yeah, I felt, I want to say the whole thing. I think it's the lower abs when you're going to pull up, but it's almost like that last little bit when you're up at the top, and then you do that extra little inch, it pulls in the upper too. So I'm feeling all of it, the lower and the upper. But the upper part doesn't come in until that last little bit at the top. So it's like right there. So that's lower. And I'm kind of feeling out to the side a little bit in the beginning part of it. And then right there, I kind of feel a little more of the upper too and feel the whole thing flex and tighten. Okay, I want to, you guys want to try one more thing? I wanted to see how the tube thingy works. Yeah, I would set you up on my tripod, but I'm using my tripod for the extra light. So I have to use my computer. And yeah, so let me get my, I'm gonna get a tube. I don't know if you guys have the resistance bands, the tubies. And ankle weights. I just wanted to try this to see what it feels like. So this is the kit that I bought the other day that comes with the ankle weight, the ankle strappies. So there's two different things that I saw that I wanted to try. Yeah, let me see. So it would be, yeah, here. One of these things I kind of actually did at the gym a while back from a cable, and it worked really well. So this will be similar, but just using a tube instead. So it's just going to be kind of like the mountain sliders, but you're adding the tube for resistance. So you'll pull in your hip flexors a little bit more and a little more tension on the abs. And then the other thing I saw was laying on the back and doing like bicycles, you know, with the tube hooked there. Head would be here, so you have that tension when you're pulling your knees in. But we're gonna try, oh, thank you for the thumbs up. We're gonna try, we're gonna try this one first. So it would be the, wait, I have to think of how I'm gonna do this. Okay, so I'm gonna hook it, wait, hook it back here. I should have hooked this up first, probably. Oh, maybe these two go back that way some. Okay, so I'm gonna scooch you back this way a little bit more. Oh. Okay. Oh, 20. Those were hard. So if you don't even need ankle straps. If you have something to just put your tube around and then put your toes through the handles, you should be able to do it that way. Yeah, because your toes are staying this way. So you should be able to hold it with the handles with your toes. Yeah, and just something that is sturdy enough to hold it. You just need to wrap it around just one thing, whatever. We're getting beautiful abs though. Yeah, just something sturdy. Like, I could have like taken it and wrapped it around that. Yeah. Did that work? The leg of your coffee table? Yeah, if there's enough weight on it, something like that should be okay. Or Ruth, if you had a chair, have your husband sit in the chair and wrap it around one of the legs. That would work. Yeah, he's cheating, huh? You have to be our cheerleader then. If you're relaxing, say, yay, good job. Good job, girls. Yeah, just something that something that like gives it just a little bit of a weight. Yeah, those worked really good. I like the way those felt. So whereas the mountain sliders are kind of focused and controlled, this was, you had to be a little more explosive because of the extra weight. Thank you. So your hip flexors, that might mean that you need to really put more focus on your core when you're doing it. You might not be, let me show you from the side. So if you're like this and you're pulling your knee in that way, that puts it like right there. So, yeah, so focus on when you go into your plank. So see the difference between that and then that. That almost, it almost brings your focus more to the quads and not to the glutes. And you're actually, I don't know if you watched this part here, it actually, you're pushing yourself away from the floor. And it almost makes, you know the cat stretch, right? It's kind of like that in this part of your body. It's like when you're, see that part right there? Even just thinking of like pushing your upper back away from the floor, watch what happens to your hips. It changes your hips too. Yeah, just practicing that and getting used to when you're like, if I'm here, I can feel my core is tight, but it needs to be like that. Because when it's like that, it engages your core even more. The other way is almost like a more of an eccentric contraction. It's like you're feeling it, but your abs aren't flexed. They're tight just because they're, like I can feel them, they're tight, but when I take and push myself away from the floor, and then I roll up on your toes too. Make sure you're rolling up on your toes, because once you do that, it changes all this right here. You'll feel your core really engage. So then when you're pulling your knee in, see how that's like, that really contracts. So now it's coming from there and not from here. So where you're moving, even though your knee is coming in, your rotation I don't know if that's really the right word. It comes from here. It's not from here. So you're just shifting your focus. Because if I'm here and I'm thinking of just bringing my knees in, that's hip flexor. But see how my body's staying flat? But now if I do that, see how when I pull it in, my body, my back rounds, my back lifts. And if my back is lifting, my core is engaging, right? So yeah, practice it that way because really put your focus here and forget about your hip flexors. Hip flexors is just kind of like a secondary thing, but it shouldn't be the thing that you feel the most. The thing you feel the most should be your core. Whew. So let me know, are you trying it? Try it and let me know if that helped. Because usually, yeah, for like, for abs or like plank type thingies, just regular planks, if you're feeling your lower back, it's just a matter of like shifting your focus more to the core and really getting, I call it being over the top of it. So like if you're here, that's not over the top, that's kind of behind it. So what, I don't know if you can see my feet. Can you see my feet? So to get over top of it, it like shifts your weight forward. Oh, good. Thank you. Shift your weight over top and okay, good. Yeah, if you shift your weight over top of your arms, so it's like making sure your shoulders are over your hands, that shifts your weight forward. It allows you to lift your back and it rolls you to your toes. And that's what gets you like right in the connection with your core. And you want to do that before you start. Yeah, it makes a big difference. And that kind of helps with push-ups. You know, I see a lot of women. So I'm going to do it from my knees. We'll try to do push-ups, and they're not over top. Actually, let me unhook this. I'm like strapped to the wall here. I just wanted to try that to see what that felt like. That was really good. Okay, so I'm going to get more sideways so you guys can see. So, yeah, if you're trying to do a push-up and your back, you know, you don't feel like you can go down, so they'll usually let their shoulder blades go and try to do it that way. Then their butt comes up in the air, right? So to really do a push-up, you have to kind of scoot yourself forward and over top. And doing that right there and just shifting your weight shifts you over top of it, and that's where your strength and power comes in. When you're behind it, you don't feel strong. So to do a push-up, like if you're doing a full push-up, yeah, if you're behind it, you ever see the butt go up and then you try to go down that way? It's like it's because you're behind it, right? But if you, and you can't see my feet, but I'm not rolled up on my toes. If I roll up on my toes and come forward and then go down, I get a lot more strength and power that way because I'm centered in my body. My core is engaged. You can see a big difference. Yeah, makes a big difference. And it's just, well, let me see if I can get this far enough away. So, yeah, let me scoot it this way. far enough away so you can see my feet too, because it's like it's a game changer. Yeah, so I'm gonna do the first way that I see a lot of women try, and they're like this. So see how my feet are? They're weight shifted this way. Their butts up in the air. Their core is not really engaged. So then they try to lower themselves, and then their shoulder blades are kind of coming together, right? Instead of lowering the bottom, shifting the weight forward, right there, just doing that, pushing myself away from the floor. I feel this tighten, but I feel my core engages. So then when you're over top of it, it really puts it into your chest. So, because when you're doing a push-up, you're trying to feel your chest, right? And if your back and your butt's up in the air and your shoulder blades are coming together, the chest isn't flexing. So when you roll up on your toes, that shifts your weight forward, and then you push yourself away from the floor. It's that part that engages your core. Now you just connected your upper body, your chest, and your legs. Your body is whole. So that's what allows you to be able to keep your body straight when you go down, because you're connected with your core, and it's like a plank. You're a plank, you go down. So it's not like you're broken in half at your butt and trying to go down this way, right? So as soon as I shift this way, my quads tighten, my core tightens. And then before I go down, it's like I feel my chest. I get to touch my chest. So I'm aware of like my whole underside of my body, my quads, my core, and my chest. Well, at least I can do a couple push-ups still. But that locks everything in, right? So it's your quads and core and your chest flexing and locking in place to stabilize you. And then your main focus is your chest. Your core and your quads just kind of stay tightened to stabilize you and to keep your body in a straight line so your butt doesn't go up. Because the minute your butt goes up, you've just taken away your core. So you have to keep that butt down. That's what keeps that core there. But then doing that and having your body connected through your core really puts it more in your chest. So then you feel the strength and power in your chest, which is actually what a push-up is about, instead of trying to let yourself down with your arms. Because the other way is you're trying to let yourself down with your arms, and your chest is a lot bigger muscle group than your arms, and you're going to feel more strength and power from your getting in touch with your chest to do it instead of your arms. Your arms, it's going to feel scary. That's why women, when they do it, I'm going to do it from my knees this time. They try to, I don't know if you can see that. Instead of like moving their arms to go down, they let their shoulder come down and then they push their butt up because it's like, oh, this is hard. But that's like putting it all like right here. And it's like if you just keep that butt down, shift your weight over top, elbows have to be out too. You have to think of your elbows being out for a push-up. You aim them back, it's going to shift it a little bit more to the tricep. So that makes it a little bit harder too. Makes it feel scarier because here you're trying to lower your upper body and the weight of your upper body down with your arms. And if you don't have strong arms and it's a smaller muscle group, it does make it a lot harder. So if you learn how to get in touch with that chest, keep those elbows out and do it from your chest, you should feel it all across here. You shouldn't really feel it back here unless you're trying to do triceps, which then your elbows are aimed back like that, right? And that puts it all right there. Does that make sense? Are we done? Are we done with abs and chest talk? Since we're talking about the chest talk, I don't know if Michael's here or not, but okay, yay. Let me try the. Michael had asked about knuckle push-ups because of wrists. Yeah, I'm done for abs too. I'll be curious to see if I get sore. I would imagine I would. Oh, good. Yeah, so the thing with knuckle push-ups, because some people do have problems with that and their wrist, that pressure this way. So knuckle push-ups help because you're not bending at the wrist like you would when you put your hands out, right? You're here. And I think he said horizontal, which I don't know if he meant this way, which I don't know if I've ever tried him that way. It feels more natural for me to go this way, and I don't even know, I don't think I could do a regular one. I'll just try from my knees. That way feels more natural to me than this way. I feel my chest better this way. And I'm not sure exactly what your question was. Another thing you can do if you don't want to do the knuckle way, because putting that weight on there can also hurt. So if you have push-up handles or a dumbbell, I have some clients that use a dumbbell because of their wrist. So that kind of does the same thing. See how it keeps your wrist from going like that, right? To keeping it straight. So instead of like that on the ground, you're doing it this way so it can stay straighter. Doing it this way with two weights might feel a little bit different, might feel better than trying to do it from your knuckles. I don't know if that would be okay with your wrist. And I have some people complain that, yep, still going, yay. Some people complain that this is like hard. So you can put like a, either have gloves that are padded or like fold something up and put it underneath there. I'll usually have my clients at the gym, they had the felt pieces for like the slider things. I have them fold that up and put one on each side. And that just gives a little bit more cushion. So that's like something to try too, is maybe a weight like that, just to like allow you to keep your hand straight. Yeah, you can do it either way. You can put your thumb on this side or this side, but you can try different angles. For the knuckles, to me, it feels better this way. I don't know why. For the weights, it feels better to like, yeah, you know, and you don't even have to go this way. You could do like an angle. Let me try. Let me get another one. And I'm not sure exactly what your question was. If it was if your wrist were hurting. Yeah, foam around the waist is a good idea too. Let me try this way. Yeah, because with this, let me see. Actually, oh, bionic gloves. Yeah, 45 degree. That's just what I was going to say, because when you really do push-ups, your hands aren't really straight. They're kind of turned in, like your fingertips are kind of turned in a little bit, and that like pushes your elbows out. So to get the same feel, yeah, I have to have like an angle this way, so they're not straight across. So with the dumbbells, for me, it feels the best in my chest this way, you know, and that's still keeping your wrist pretty straight. For the knuckle push-ups, it feels really weird to go this way. It feels better and easier for me to get it in my chest if my hands are this way. And I did my hands like this. So I'm just closing them. And you can put your thumb down that way. I guess you could do them this way. I think the first way I actually made a fist and did them that way. So whatever feels best. And then a long time ago, probably 2009 or 10, I think it was in 2009, I made a push-up series. They were like very beginning when I first started my channel. And I can't remember if there's 2 or 3 parts to it, which I'd be curious to go back and watch and see what I said back then. But I think if I remember right, I talked about breaking the, let's get this back, breaking the chest in 2. Because if you think of like doing chest and you're doing like an incline press, or just a bench press or any type of press, I don't know. Do you guys want to see? I can show you. I can show you on my new bench. Let me see if I can move my camera over here. But once you kind of this down with like just regular your traps, yeah, it's amazing how fast everything disappears. Oh yeah, because if you get this idea down, if you understand this, I think it makes anything else that you do with chest, especially like push-ups, it makes it easier. So let me see. I need to put my phone up a little bit higher somehow. Hold on a second here. See if I can, yeah, move this way. Okay, and hopefully it won't fall. And actually, if I, let's see, if I move closer, that might help. Okay. All right. I'm going to move my lighting. Okay. All right. So the biggest thing that I see people do for chest is when they come down like that. And I don't know if you can tell, but I'm rotating at just my shoulders. Right? They just have their whole back on the bench and they're going up and down. Just rotating right here. And most of them will have shoulder problems because of that, because they're rotating here and they're not really using their chest. So if you think of, excuse me, if you think of like splitting your chest down the middle, right? So there's two halves. In order to put it in your chest, when you go down, your chest has to open. And in order for your chest, I think of it as a hinge. I haven't explained it this way in a long time. You have a hinge in your chest, right? And that hinge, if it's working, it allows your chest to move and open and stretch and contract, right? A lot of people, their hinge is fused. So when they go down, they're rotating out here instead of here, right? They're just rotating at their shoulders. And your shoulders can only take so much. And then if you're putting all that weight on your shoulders, that's why people have hurt shoulders. Because they're doing chest things with sometimes trying to do chest weight and they hurt themselves or they pull something or whatever. And it's because they're not rotating at their hinge instead of their shoulders. So I'm going to show you the first way again. So this is rotating at the shoulders, right? So now I'm going to rotate at the chest. So thank you. So I'm going to really arch my back up. So my back is away from the bench now. I don't know if you saw that. Right? My chest comes up. So now when I go to bring the weights down, I open it up. As soon as my elbows bend, see how my chest just came up? That's because I'm opening the hinge, right? If I don't open the hinge, it's only moving right here. So if I come out, as soon as the elbows bend, that chest comes up, right? So chest. And right there, that's all on my chest. And my chest says that's as deep as you can go. So now we're going to go back up. Once you come down on that first one, your chest comes up, you kind of set your back there. So you don't let it come down and drop again. Because now when you do that, you just shifted from your chest to your shoulder. So now when you go back down again, now you have to find your chest again. And if you don't, when you come down and the weight's too heavy, it's going to go right to the shoulders. And that's what's going to hurt your shoulders. But if you're doing it all with your chest, that won't happen. So as soon as I come out, my elbows bend, my chest comes up. So I'm pushing my chest up as the weights come down. So it's that opposite. It's the opposite movement. That's what creates the contraction. It's the opposites. So in order to get that tight contraction, this comes out, chest goes up, weight comes down. Now it's like the chest is stretched. Now when I come up, now my chest is tight, right? And you just keep your chest. You keep your chest in that position. You don't let it drop back down. But to get in touch with it, it's that opposite feel where this comes down, chest goes up. That just got me in touch with my chest. So now when I push off the bottom, it's all chest. It's not shoulders. And then the goal is just to stay in the chest. And when you can learn to feel your chest this way, you can kind of take that and like apply it to like your push-ups, because it's the same kind of feel. You're just facing down instead of facing up. And it'll work a little bit differently than this. Oh, good. Yeah, I'll see if I can, I'll find those videos. I can link it under this video, and maybe on the community tab. But I think it's a three-part series. I'd be curious to go back and watch it myself. But you have to think of it too, it's a little different because with the dumbbells, you're actually here and coming in, where push-ups, you're not really doing that. Oh, thank you. Push-ups, your hands don't move, right? But practicing it on something like this to get the feel of like what it feels like to use the chest and not the shoulders or the arms, and to really get connected with the chest, practicing this will help you to be able to do the push-ups better and feel it in your chest instead of something else. Yeah, you can apply it to the flat bench too. And yeah, incline bench, flat bench, it's going to be easier to get in touch with the chest and feel it just because your hands are coming together, right? Where when you're doing push-ups, your hands aren't. But if you know how to flex and use your chest from inside, it's the same feel that you feel when you're doing it this way. It's just your hands aren't moving. So it's like I always have women, because I think it's hardest for women to learn how to feel their chest, because it's just, we have body fat over it, and it's just something that we don't use in everyday life unless you lift, and unless, I mean, there are people that lift and they still don't really know how to use their chest, but it's like if you practice, I always have them practice this way first. If you push your hands together, it's like it used to be an old saying, we must increase our bust. It's like your elbows are out, you're pushing your hands in. When you do that, feel how your chest flexes, right? And it's easy to get it to flex when you're pushing against something. So after they learn what it feels like to do that, you know, you'll learn to like be able to flex it without pushing anything. And that's like flexing from inside, right? And that's the key for any exercise that you do, any body part that you're working. When you learn how to flex it from inside, that's when you're really tapped into your power, and that's when you really start to change the muscle. But if you practice pressing in first to get that feel of the contraction of the chest, then I have them like do this where they're starting to push in, but they're not touching. So the flex has to come from you. And eventually you get to where you're flexing it, and you can flex it from here, right? Without even having to come up and together. The easiest way to feel it is when you're coming together, right? But for pressing type things, you have to learn how to flex it that way. And that just comes from inside. Then that like takes you from connecting to the weight and feeling it to now you've just gone inside the muscle. And when you get inside the muscle and you're pushing from inside, that's where your true power is. You're feeling it, and that's what it feels like. That teaches you how to feel your chest. And when you learn what that feels like, you can just lay down and you just like push it up with your chest. You don't even really have to think about it, you know, but then that makes your push-ups easier because you're doing it from your chest instead of your shoulders or arms. So if you're doing, so like elbow planks, yeah, the same thing. Whenever you're doing planks, it's like that's what, yes, we went spiritual in the beginning, physical in the middle, or doing the mind. Yeah, planks, elbow planks, the same thing. That's the part that I'm talking about, you know, when you're in plank position and you shift your weight over, it's like all this it flexes, right? So if you're back here like this, that's not going to flex. But if you shift your weight forward, over shoulders over your hands, so watch my chest. It tightens, right? Everything tightens to stabilize your body. So because you're that way, you know, same if you're in your elbows. If you're holding yourself this way, if you put your weight on it, your chest should tighten, right? So this locks into place. And then you bring your focus to your core. So your core has to stay tight to keep your back from staying. And with that core tight and engaged, it connects you to your lower body. So then you sit there and you're thinking of keeping your body. That's why it's called a plank. It would be like a straight bird, right? It's in a straight line. So another way you can think of it too is like you're making your spine neutral. So if you're in your plank and your body's like this, that's not neutral. You have to pull that core in to make it a straight line. So basically your goal is pulling the core in to lock the upper body and lower body together so you make a straight line. Once you get locked into that position, the goal is to like keep that position and keep it as long as you can. The part that's going to start to fail is your lower back is going to want to drop because the core is going to get tight and tired. It's going to get tired from holding that up to keep everything locked in place. The minute that core gets tired and loosens, the lower back drops. So if you're feeling your lower back, it's just a sign that you either need to tighten your core, and if you can't get it tightened to make the lower back pain go away, you just need to stop. Give your abs a little bit of a rest. But if you like start to feel your lower back because your back's starting to sway, if you're just like, ugh. But if you stay in touch with your core the whole time, that's not going to happen. It'll just stay there until it just can't hold it anymore, and you know you've just like pushed it up and held it tight and held it tight, and it's like, okay, I can't hold it anymore. Then you just stop. But it's like the goal to be a plank. If you want to really be a plank, it's all about the core. And so say you took 2 pieces of wood, right? And you know, you don't want it to sway in the middle, right? And you don't want your butt to be up in the air because that's not a plank. It's not a plank that way. It's not a plank that way. So if you really want to learn how to be a plank, it all comes from the core, right? Locking that core in. And once you lock that core in, then it's like it's strong, right? It's the core is keeping that break from breaking either way. You lock that in, now it's like a full straight plank, and the goal is just to like hold that as long as you can. And that comes with not just the core, but it's like your stabilizer muscles. So it's like when you're on your elbows, you lock your chest in, guess what else flexes? Your lats, right? You're using, and your shoulders. You know, and when you're on your elbows, you don't feel your arms as much, but they might even tighten too. You know, like as soon as that weight goes on them, everything kind of tightens, and your quads will tighten. So it's like your quads, your upper body, and they're tightening to help do their part for the lower body, to stabilize the lower body. Your upper body is tightening, your chest, shoulders, lats, maybe arms a little bit. It's tightening to lock the upper body in, and then the core tightens to keep that break from happening, right? And then so the core, when it tightens, it like makes everything in a straight line. And that's kind of like, that's the whole goal. And I've never explained it that way before, but that's what's happening. a new way to explain it. Yeah, but that's doing it from the inside. You know, when you're doing it from the inside, you're just aware of like what your whole body is doing. Yeah, form is everything. And that's like one of the things that I'm like a stickler on form. And I'm good at like when somebody's doing something and they're not feeling what they're supposed to feel, I'm good at helping them correct that. And a lot of times I can like even just like feel if it's a little bit off. You know, because it's not just about what you're doing. I've said this for a long time. It's not just what you're doing, it's about how you're doing what you're doing. And the how you're doing what you're doing comes from learning to get on the inside. Because you can have, you know, good form and feeling it, but to really get really good results and get quality. So this takes you from the quantity to the quality is when you get inside. Learn to flex and stabilize the muscles so you can, yeah, good form helps with, yeah, joint problems and stuff. A lot of times I've had people that like, you know, their knees bother them, like when they do leg things, but it's like sometimes, not all the time. Yeah, it helps to avoid injury too. But a lot of times, like I said, not all the time, but a lot of times when I've explained to somebody that when they're doing a leg thing and they're like, you know, I'm feeling, a lot of times you can see it in their form. Sometimes it's not as obvious, but if you ask them, it's like, where's your focus? On your knees? Well, guess what? If you're focused on your knees because it hurts, you're defeating the purpose, and of course you're going to feel your knees. It's like, so usually getting somebody to shift from their knees up to their upper thigh, and then paying attention to if they're doing like a quad movement, like a squat or something like that, paying attention to where somebody's squatting and their weight shifting towards the front of the leg, which is like, you can get it in your knees. So actually, let me see if I, okay, you guys still there? Sorry about that. It's a little windy here today. So I'm going to do a squat with like a forward thinking. Let me see if I can put this down and get farther away so I can see my feet. So if I'm going to do a squat, focus on my knees, right? So I'm putting my focus there to feel my knees. I feel it right there. My weight shifted forward to my toes. I can feel this a little bit, but it's like, yeah, so if you're doing squats and your focus is that way, and I don't know if you can see my upper body a little bit, but it's kind of forward. So if you shift your weight back to your heels, stick your butt out, and kind of on your heels, and purposely try to shift it away from your knees and keep your butt out, you can totally change how you feel it. Because it's like, if you think of it, energy follows thought. So if your thought's on your knees, guess what? Your body is going to adjust so you feel your knees, because that's where your focus is, right? But if your energy is, or your thought is like on your quads, or say your glutes, you know, like I shifted my weight to my heels and thought about my glutes, that totally shifted it away from my knees. You know, and if that doesn't work, sometimes you have to do things where your legs are out more, so your weight just kind of stays on your heels, so it puts it a little bit more on the backside, but shifts it away from the knees. It's just an individual thing. It's just about trying things, but learning about the focus and what are you focusing on. You know, like when you're doing the push-ups, you're not focusing on letting yourself down. Oh, thank you. Yeah, energy follows thought. You know, so if you know what you're, and this just came to me the other day, and I think I've talked about it once or twice, but you know, first you have the connection and the feel, you know, so when you're first starting to work out, you're in form, so you can feel the muscle that you're working. You get that connection of like the muscle that you're working. Then the next two things are like using and knowing. And the using is the part that I'm talking about getting inside your body. That comes from focus. If you can like, once you learn what it feels like to do bicep curls and you're like, okay, yeah, I feel my biceps, then you take it from just feeling it to the inside of your bicep and you lift from the inside out, right? So you're not just lifting the weight. You get inside the muscle and you're lifting it from the inside. Then it's like you're flexing the muscle from the inside. You're purposely flexing it to lift the weight. When you get to that point, that's when you really start to change your body, because you're doing it from the inside. It makes it more purposeful. It takes it deeper into the muscle. It allows you to start to push a set farther. It allows you to lift heavier. And once you start to lift heavier, you go from the using to the knowing. And it's like you're just trusting, because when you're lifting heavy, you don't have time to think about anything. You're just doing and trusting. You just know that you can do it. You just know that you're doing it. You just know that your form's right. You just know that your focus is on the muscle that you're working. And that when you're lifting heavy, you can't be distracted. You can't let your focus, like, no, you just know. You're doing it. But it's like practicing that to get in touch with your chest and what that feels like, because that, when it does that, that's what it feels like to use your chest. It's not just feeling it. It's like when it flexes like that, you're flexing it from the inside. And then once you can do it that way, you can recreate it in any chest exercise that you do. And that's going to make it more purposeful. It's going to take it deeper. It's going to give you a better pump. It's going to allow you to become stronger, and your body starts changing a lot faster. So, yeah. Anything else, guys? This is fun. I love talking about this kind of stuff. I'm a detail person. You know, I pay attention to like how things feel, and I can do something and then explain it to somebody like what I'm feeling on the inside, because it's like when you start to look at those things, thank you. You start to look at those details and you get your form just right. It just like makes everything take off. Oh, good. Yeah, I love this stuff, and it's all about form. Keeping your form and keeping your focus on the muscle that you're working. Have you ever tried to, it's funny because it's like, it's really has to happen. Oh, thank you. That makes me feel good. Thank you. Have you ever noticed that in a way you kind of have to, like, when you're learning something new, you have to use your brain, right? To like say, okay, I have to keep my elbows out. I have to do this. And if I do this, it's going to make me feel this muscle. You know, it's going to get me connected to this muscle. So I feel it, right? And then it's like you're using your mind. The more you do it from your mind and you kind of get used to it, the more you do anything, it starts to become second nature. So then it's like you're doing your chest now from second nature. And because it's like something you don't have to think about anymore, now you can start to take that focus and take it inside. So where it's like, oh yeah, I can like flex my chest now. I can flex my chest. I can flex my chest and use it from the inside, right? Then so heavier, then you're just learning how to just really keep that focus there. It's all about not letting your focus go from here to any place else. That's kind of the goal. And when you get to where you're at that point, then if you like really stop and think about it, wherever you put your focus on whatever you're trying to do, your body, okay, shoot. Example other than the knee thing. The knee thing is a perfect example. If you're doing something and it's like, oh, you know, my knees hurt, it's like your body's going to go to where you feel your knees because that's where your focus is. Another thing, like say you're stretching, right? And you say, I want to stretch my inner thigh, right? So what do I have to do? If I put my focus right here, what do I have to do? How do I have to turn to feel that, right? I just adjusted my body to feel that. Now, if I go this way, that stretches the back. But if you're wanting to stretch the inside, it's like if I put my focus right there and I turn and push into that, now I'm feeling that. So in the end, it really comes down to your focus and keeping your focus on whatever you're doing, because if you keep your focus there, you can know and trust that your body and your form is going to do what it's supposed to do. If you're feeling your chest when you're doing your chest, you don't have to think about your form because you're feeling it and your body is going to adjust and do what it's supposed to do. If you're feeling it, you're doing it right. If you're feeling your shoulders, just know that something's off, and it's usually your elbows or your chest isn't up high enough. So your body tells you, and it could be because your focus shifted. You know, you were feeling your chest and now all of a sudden your focus went someplace else or shifted out here, and it shifted out here. Now your body's adjusting and like moving just at the shoulders instead of at the chest. So interesting stuff to talk about. I love talking about this kind of stuff. But I think there's always a way to work around whatever you have going on. And a lot of times too, it's like, for example, like feeling lower back or feeling hip flexors, it has to do with not having your core really engaged. And having your core really engaged and learning what that feels like and connecting the upper body and lower body goes with any body part that you're trying to train. Not just for like core stuff or you know, push-ups or chest things. It's for anything that you're trying to train. If you're not centered in your body and you're not you don't have that core engaged and you're not connected head to toe, then you're not going to be able to take it as deep into the muscle, and you're not going to be able to get as much out of what you're doing as you could. Not that you won't get something out of it, but it depends on what your goal. If your goal is strength, it's going to limit your strength. If your goal is to like really change the muscle and make the muscles more shapely and round or bigger or whatever, it's going to limit you from doing that if you don't know how to get centered in your body. So when I say centered in your body, it's getting this engaged, bringing your awareness down and inside to here. This gets you in touch with your diaphragm and your breathing. And that's another thing we can talk about is your breath, because it's all about the breath too. There's so many important keys because the breath comes from down here. Abs is an easy way, I think, to get connected to here. And it's an easy way to learn how to breathe because whenever you come up, you automatically exhale. Inhale, exhale. That movement there gets you connected to your core. So then the trick is learning to keep that type of a feeling when you're standing up and say, doing curls. You know, I could stand here with my legs straight and lift some weights this way, and I can show you an example. So this is kind of the difference between working out. Shoot, let me turn that down just a little tiny bit. Yeah. So I'm going to stand here and just kind of go through a motion. I'm not really engaging my core. Right? I'm not really focusing on on my breathing. And I'll turn this way. So I don't know if you can feel that energy, right? But it's like, it's very top heavy. My breath is very shallow, right? I'm just going through emotion. I'm kind of on the outside, going through emotion. Now I'm gonna like engage this and do it that way. So in order to do that, I don't know if you can feel that energy or not. Did that feel different or look different? I should go this way too. I don't know if it's like, usually when I show my clients like before the gym closed in person, it's like you can feel the energy of that. And there'll be a subtle, sometimes it's not that subtle. You can tell like, oh my gosh, they're just not in their body. But what I did, and this would be, you can see it? Okay, good. It would be better if you could see my whole body. Because what I did, the first way my legs were straight and I was just like this. I was trying to just keep my energy up because that's usually what people do when they're top heavy. They're not breathing deep, they're just going through emotion. In order to make it purposeful, you have to come in your body and come down. So in order to do that, a quick way to like engage your core, just drop your knees. Just a slight bend in the knees. Let's see if you can see it if I stand up here. So I went from there doing the curls to, as soon as you do that, you feel your core engage. You might even feel like your inner thigh. You might even feel your glutes just a little bit. You might have like an awareness to that. But that's kind of part of like your core because it locks you into place. So once you lock this into place and you're in touch with this, then your breathing starts to get, your breathing is deeper from down here. It's not just shallow off the top of your head. Like the first way with the legs straight, it's like, I have to go to the grocery store and I have to do this, I have to do that. You're just not in your body. That's what I would be called being in your body. It's like, as soon as you drop your knees and you like get here, it's like, it almost automatically makes you exhale and it gets you in touch here because that exhale comes from the diaphragm. So then you're breathing from a place, but you're inside your body more so and you're lifting the weight purposeful. I can feel my bicep. I'm using my biceps. Then your breath gets connected to your movement. And then it just, takes it to a whole another level. But the engaging the core thing goes with any exercise that you're doing. That gets you centered in your body. And I always explain it as you're centered from top to bottom. So from your head to your toes, front, back, right? So you're not like forward doing something, you're not back, because right there, can you feel how that cuts my air off, right? And if I'm too far forward, it changes my breath in a different way. But if I'm like here, centered, front, back, my breath is open. If I'm too far forward or too far back, it cuts off my air and it takes away your power. So when you sit into it like that, it automatically engages your core and it opens you up. And then you're centered from left to right. So you want to make sure you're not like leaning one way or the other. You're centered on both feet. So it's top to bottom, front to back, left to right. To me, that's what is like being centered in your body is. And your breath should your breath should flow, and it should be from down here, not just up here. If you're breathing from up here, you're not totally present. Your mind is someplace else, or your body's just in a wrong position. So it should flow. That energy should flow. So the part that I'm talking about the centeredness and the grounding, getting grounding in your body, that's like your first energy center, which is right down here. First energy center is about grounding. The second energy center is here. It's about flow and duality. Two things coming together. That gives you that connection to the weight. And that flow, your breath should flow. The motion should be fluid. I don't know if you've ever noticed somebody in the gym or working out or whatever, and they're just kind of, you can just tell their energy is frantic. they're just like, oh, that doesn't feel good. You know, but it's like when you're on the inside, you have control over your body because you're doing it from the inside. The weight's not controlling you. You're on the inside, you're connected with the weight. And then you're moving with the weight. And it's like you're giving it just enough force to make that weight move. So you have to overtake the weight just a little bit, but you don't want to go past it. Because when you go past it, then there creates a gap, and then you can get hurt that way. Because you went too fast, and then it's like, oh, wait. But yeah, you're using just enough force. But the force comes from the using of the muscle. The force comes from flexing the muscle from within. That's what gives you the force to pick the weight up. So if I'm just going through emotion, I'm not really connected, right? But if I get inside and I pull it from inside, I'm like totally connected to it. I'm moving it because this is flexing from inside. I can go as slow as I want to go. I can make it faster while still staying connected to it, right? I could go even faster. But it's like when you're on the inside, doing it from the inside, you're in control. The weight's not controlling you. Wait, I saw somebody said something, but I didn't see what. Oh. Oh, the Mr. Miyagi of weights. That's funny. Yes. You guys are funny. Yeah, I always wanted to write a book. I did, like 20 years ago or so. Or even longer. I wanted to write a book, but it's like I can't organize my thoughts. This kind of stuff doesn't come out unless somebody is listening and wanting it. That's the only time this stuff comes out. If I go to sit down to like write it and nobody's around, it's like, I need something to like go off of to start talking about it. And then I just don't think it's possible to write. Well, actually, yeah, there's a book already written on, and it's called the Bible. And it's called Just Listening to the Holy Spirit, basically. And which leads me to another thing. You know, I've always been fascinated with the breathing of it, and like how when your breath is right, your training is right. Your breath connects. And I have a saying, and I'd have to stop and think about it. It just came out one day, and I'm like, oh, that was really good. But it's like, see, sometimes I get things from God. He just gives me things, and it's like, oh, wow, where'd that come from? It's like, wow, that was really good. And it's like, it's about you can connect your breath to your movement, and you can connect your movement to your breath. Connecting your movement to your breath is kind of a way of expressing what's on the inside. So if you're feeling a certain way, because there's certain things I like to go lighter and at a faster pace to just really get in touch with that muscle, you know, and that's just expressing something maybe in that body part, I don't know, where it needs to go faster. There's other things where, you know, I want to go slower, you know, but it's like express what's on the inside of yourself, and you can express that with your pace and how fast you want to go. And yeah, I think you just said that sometimes you have to go slower to like really feel and flex the muscle, and that's good. And yeah, you will feel it better that way because now you've just made it more purposeful and taken it deeper into the muscle. But the more you get used to that, you will be able to maybe take it faster and go heavier. Because if you take a weight and you kind of have to slow down to like feel it, that's okay. Because it's like you're getting connected to that weight, you're getting connected to the muscle. Take your time to do that. Make it purposeful. I think that's the most important thing, is like the accuracy and the purposefulness, to where you feel it and you're connected. To me, that's the duality. That's like the second energy center, the flow and the duality, right? To where two opposite things meet, right? And it's like, your hand and the weight. And as soon as you put that weight here, it makes this flex. So it's like it's tension, right? Then it's learning how to stay with that. And that just comes from focusing on your bicep. The better you get at it, you can start to go faster. When you can take a weight and start to go faster and stay connected to that muscle, that's kind of an energy of you're shifting up, and that's an energy that you would use to go with a heavier weight. Because if you lift this, right, and you're going like this and you really feel it that way, it's like I'm using it. If I go to, which I don't even know if I'll be able to lift these, it's going to be really hard. If I go up to 15, so those were 5s. If I go up to 15s, I'm not going to be able to do it the same way, right? So then that's where you have to change your energy from a slow, calm, inside, flowy to now you have to pick up the explosiveness. And that explosiveness comes from a faster paced mind. And that's where you start to move from the feel and connect to the use and the know. When you get to where you can use the muscle from the side, you're going to be more confident with your form. Then you just know your form is right. Like, I didn't have to think about that. All I'm thinking about is my biceps and the explosiveness and my breath. And I'm not really even thinking about that. I'm just doing it. It's just knowing. It's just knowing, because you've done it so many times. You know you're in touch with that muscle. You know you're using it from the inside. I wouldn't teach somebody how to do that or go that heavy or go that fast if they don't know how to be inside the muscle. Because if you're doing it outside the muscle, that's when you get hurt. That's when you're trying to like go fast and fling up a weight, just get it up from the outside and not from the inside. So it's like, I don't teach that until I know somebody is like in touch with the muscle and they're using it from the inside. Because when you're using it from the inside, you're in control. You know, and you're aware of your body, you know what your body's doing. And so when you get to that point, you can add the explosiveness, power, and you just know that your arms are coming up. You've got your forearm down so your body's not cheating and leaning back. You know that your core is engaged, because when you're going heavier, if somebody's not on the side, you see them, they fling the weight up and they lean back. Well, your core is not engaged if you're doing that. So if you need to explode and you know how to keep your core engaged, when it's hard, your body almost moves into it because that tightens the core. You're not moving away from it. Your knees are dropped. Your core is engaged, is tight. You can use your knees as a spring. And I think I talked about that in one of my other videos. I'm not sure which one. But it's like, you're That's all bicep. I'm not leaning back and putting pressure on my back because my core is engaged. My core is keeping my upper body and lower body connected. It keeps my strength. It allows me to shift my mind up and faster. And that faster mind frame, it's because you need that faster, stronger energy, which is a faster vibration. So like down here, the first energy center is a slower vibration. You know, that's your grounding. That's where it's like, I feel the gravity of my body. I feel contentment. As you move up your energy centers, so you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. As you move up the energy centers, the frequency and vibration gets faster. So you go from like a more solid, which is slower, you know, because this is like your grounding, connected to earth. As you move up, the energy moves faster. And that's what it feels like to me when you're doing a heavier set. It's like you're shifting up while still being aware of your feet. So it's different than just being in your mind and not being aware of your body. You're aware of your whole body still. You've just changed from a slower, more contracting energy to when you get a heavier weight and you're going up, the contraction happens like that. You don't even know if you're contracting because you're not feeling anymore. You just know. You just know you're doing it. And that's where you take your body to like total failure, where, you know, it's like your body just can't do anymore. It can't do the weight. You know, you get a different feel when you're going heavier and the energy's faster like that than when you're going slower, you know, and more purposeful. You kind of get more of a burn that way. The other way, once you start to go heavier, your energy has to change, and if it doesn't change, you can't lift the weight. If I try to keep the same energy with the 15s than I did with the 5s, it makes it a lot harder. Shuts down your breath and you can't do it. So in order to keep that breath open, you have to change your mind frame. And to me, it's like shifting up. So it'd be like driving a car. You know, you're shifting gears. So in order to go from 5 pounds to 15 pounds, you have to shift gears a little bit to do that. So yeah, and that was leading me to, I started to talk about the breath. And it's like I've always, you know, because if your breath is open and things are flowing, you're going to have your strength and power. Like to do the 15s with the 5-pound energy, it's going to shut my breath down. It's going to make it harder and I can't do it. And in order to lift it, you have to be breathing. So I have to shift my mind frame up to open myself back up. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but something that I found a month or two ago, which I thought was interesting. And when I always thought the breath was Jesus, because, you know, if you think about it, Jesus came here and it's like he gave us life. But then I read something, it's the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is the breath. And I'm like, oh, wow. It's like, that makes sense. You know, and it's like if you get in touch with that breathing, your breathing will tell you if you need to change something too. Because like, if I'm doing 15 pounds and I'm going to do them with 5-pound energy, see how that like closes me down? It's like, I just feel like I'm not going anywhere. It's like, you know, if in order for me to do it, I have to open up and change my mind. I have to change my focus. My focus is going from the slow, purposeful energy of the 5-pound to where it's like, okay, now I have to shift up. I have to like know. I have to know I'm going to do it, and then just let my body do it. Then it becomes it's like the Holy Spirit is telling you, your breath is telling you, you know, that felt good. When I shifted my brain, shifted my mind, shifted it up, it opened up the energy to where I could breathe and then I could lift it. But it came from me shifting this. It shifted it from, so I'm just basically moving from one energy center up to another, right? So down here, I can focus on my grounding, my flexing, right? Really squeezing the muscle hard. To me, my energy feels more down, right? When I shift to the 15s, just picking them up changes my breath because there's a lot more weight. Right away, my energy isn't down and slow. It's like, whew, this is okay. I never say it feels heavy. Well, maybe sometimes I do, but I don't believe it. Because if you believe it, then you can't do it if you think it's heavy. But it's just like, ooh, okay, this feels different than the 5s. And just like sped my energy up a little bit. It's like, it gets you like ready. It's like, okay, I'm ready. Okay, let's go. Let's just do it. Right? It's that kind of energy. You just do it. You don't think about it. You don't have time to think about it. So it's just using different energy centers, which are just different speeds, you know, and it's like, and you can feel it in your mind, right? You know, you're doing something, you know, you're doing something creative, you're creating something, right? That's how you can do a lighter weight. You can kind of create it and move it how you want to move it. I can move it slower, I can move it faster, I can kind of move it however I want to do it to give me a certain feel or whatever. You can be more creative, but it's like as you get to the heavier weight, you don't have time to like say I want to go slower or fast. You just have one speed. It's like go. Go, trust, and have faith. That's it. You're not thinking about anything. You're moving the weight and breathing. But you're also still connected to the muscle. So like I said, it's like I would never have somebody do that unless I know they're lifting from the inside and using the muscle from the inside. When you can use it from the inside, it's like you have control over it. And you know, like if your body's, your form's starting to go, or if the muscle's just getting too tired, I better stop. You know, so, okay, you think I'm done? I think that's it. Does anybody have any questions? I could probably sit here and talk about this all day, but it's probably getting late. I don't know how long this has gone on. I ran my computer battery down and I have no idea. Well, oh my gosh, this is like an hour and 34 minutes already. Time flies when you're having fun. I love talking because this is the stuff that like takes you to the next level. It's like the detail stuff. You know, it's like it's awareness. It's just being aware and like changing your mind to change your body. You know, learning that you can do different paces and different weights, and it takes different energies to do it. You know, and it's like some days, that's why I think in the very beginning when I was still on my computer over there, it's like I have a hard time like writing something down and then following it because something could change. And that's why I can't write a book. It's because to me, there's just so many variables. How do you explain? You know, well, if you're doing this, then you have to do this. But if you're doing it this way, then it could be because it's like, I just don't think I could put it into words. It's like just basically listening to your body and the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit guides you. You know, if you have something in your brain, if you have a goal in your brain and you really want to do it, as long as you have that in there, God knows your heart. And if you pay attention, He's going to lead you. He's going to lead you in the way that you need to go to get to what you have. You know, you need to have it in your heart too. If you have a desire in your heart to do something, you also have it kind of like in the back of your mind to where something comes up. You're like, oh, yeah, you're drawn to, your attention is drawn to the things that are going to lead you to this desire in your heart. If you always know what that is and God knows your heart, if you start to like really pay attention to those things, that's how you're led. You're led by, yeah, when you know, like for me, if I wanted to compete, you know, I would be led to knowing what to eat. You know, it's like I don't want to compete anymore. My goal is to get 2 to 3 workouts per week now consistently, and just to get back to this. If I get more in, that's fine, that's good, that's extra credit. But it's like I feel that in my heart now, that's my heart's desire, and it's like I feel excited about it. And it's like I come out here and do a workout, or I'll do a live, you know, with you guys, and it's like the workout's going to be whatever feels right for that day, you know, because I think some days you come out here and you're just like, ugh, your energy's lower, and it's like all you have to do is just start, you know. And if I feel that way, it's like, okay, it feels good. Like if anything I have set is back and arms, legs, chest and shoulders. That's kind of how I had it set for last week, you know. And it's like I kind of have that order, and then I finished chest and shoulders, and then I went back, I did an extra leg workout. So I kind of keep that set as my guideline, but what I do for those body parts just depends on what I feel like when I come out here. You know, I did a leg workout on Friday on my other channel, and it's like I just went by what felt right in the moment, and I felt like I had a good pump all the way around. So you know, that's another thing too. It's like the things that you don't have to be set. You know, I listen to, you know, it's like, okay, what am I feeling? You know, because if I'm feeling down and like my energy's a little slower, I'm not going to feel like I want to work out heavy, you know. But I've seen people do that. I've trained guys that do that. You know, they want to lift heavy every time, and they come in and they feel that way, and it's like I could feel their energy. It just feels down, and it's like, you know what? It's okay to go lighter. Let's do this, you know, because the goal is to get yourself opened up. So if you're feeling kind of down, to do something heavy, it's going to be productive. I think it's just going to close you down more. So it's like, you know, when I feel that way, I'm going to pick up the lighter weights, and I'm going to be like, okay, I'm going to feel my grounding, you know, because it's just because you feel down and your energy slower doesn't have to be a bad thing. You could just be kind of connected down here to that slower energy, and it's like, okay, I'm just going to, you know, pick a light weight and just start moving. You know, I'm not going to really try to flex the muscle hard. I'm not going to try to make it hard where it pulls my breath down. I'm just going to move. You know, sometimes you might have to go just a little faster and shift your mind up a little bit more. And it's like, whew, okay, now my breath is going. You know, you get that breath going and you feel opened up. You feel lighter. Then you start to feel better. And then you're like, oh, wow, okay, now I'm feeling good. You know, I think sometimes you want to stay with the same weight. Sometimes after that first set, you feel opened up. It's like, okay, yeah, I can go up a little bit heavier. Maybe I'll go to the 8 pounds. You know, but it's like your body will tell you. You know, and then sometimes if you're just like really in your head, you know, and your mind is someplace else, then it's like, yeah, you might want to do a slower motion, really focus on the muscle and squeeze the muscle harder. So if my mind is out there, if I take this weight and really slow it down and like try to squeeze it, that's going to bring me to my body. It's going to bring me to the present. So it's going to be bring from out there to in the present. And then that's going to make you feel better. So I do my workouts depending on how I feel, and I don't really think about it. I just like think, okay, what would feel good? And I look around and it's like, oh yeah, I think I'm going to do those, because it'll just make me feel open, or it'll make me feel the way I need to feel back centered in my body. I don't know if that makes sense, but I do that with my clients too. Not all of them, because not all of them are on that level, but I can feel where they are, and I can kind of feel what they need to kind of like balance them out and like open up their breath and kind of more connected and in the present. Because when you walk in the gym, I think you should feel better when you walk out than when you walked in. And you see so many people walk into the gym being in their heads. They go through a motion, do a few things, talk to some people, and then they walk out and they have the same energy as when they walked in. To me, it's like if my client comes to me that way and then they're in their head, it's my job to bring them in their body. So then when they walk out, they're present. They feel better. They're in touch with their body. They're more aware, and they walk out and they feel better. And it's like when you're in your body, it opens up your breath, because when you're in your body, you get connected to your diaphragm and you start to breathe deeper. And it's like when you're in your head, you usually are breathing the top of your lungs, just like right here. Your breath never really gets deep enough to come down here. And when it doesn't, I have clients that usually they're like really tense and tight in their neck. It's because they're always focused in their head, and then their neck and traps and everything tightens and it cuts off their breath. I don't know if you can feel that, but I'm like, ugh, I'm not breathing deep. It's like, eventually you get to where it's like, wow, I was holding my breath. But you can get that from working out. You can change that type of energy. And I'm just throwing it out there. I don't know if that relates to any of you, but I know I do. I learned this from having clients like that they're just always in their head and they're go, 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 and they never have time to really stop and relax and breathe and feel their breath and feel their body. So come to me, it's my job to get them back in touch with their body, get them in their body, get them breathing so they're in the present. Because when you're in the present and you're here, everything else is like you can see what your priorities are. When you're not in the present and you're in your head, everything seems like a priority. You're like, oh my gosh, I still have to do that. Oh my gosh, I have to do that. And it's like, and it just makes you where you're like frantic. You have anxiety, and it's like, once you just like come here, come down, feel the gravity of your body. It's that simple, really. So it's getting you in touch with that first energy center. Then when you move up the energy centers, it's like you're still kind of in with everything else, right? So I don't know if that made sense or helped anybody, but I should probably get off here because this is like really long. I had fun hanging out with you guys. I didn't think it was going to be this long of a live. Actually, it's 2 lives. I have no idea how long the first one was, but I think it was pretty long too. And make sure I think I have my chat on, right? I haven't seen a chat in a while. Oh, yeah, I have it on, I guess. Wait, oh no, I didn't see that one. Oh, I missed some. How did I miss these? Let's see. Oh, wow, I missed all these chats. I don't know how I missed them. Oh, and then there's somebody. Oh, Mario, I know you're on here. Okay, wow. So many. I'm sorry, you guys. Wow. They didn't like pop up. I don't know why. I don't know if I might have turned my chat off. Okay, I saw that one. Okay, hold on, guys. It's a mental game. I saw that one. What you're saying is true. We made up of the body, soul, and salvation awakens our spirit, which is why we are born again. That's so true. Okay, can you hear me now? Wait. Oh, and thank you. I did see that last one. Thank you. Oh, it's so sweet. Okay, I hope the sound wasn't off. You guys can hear me now? Okay. I out-talked my mic. I out-talked my computer. I out-talked my mic. Was it off very long? I hope it wasn't off that long. Let me see. Okay, I don't think it was off very long. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm gonna be out talking my phone soon. um, no, I'm so glad you guys came. This was like so much fun. I really love talking about this stuff because this is what takes it from quantity to quality. You know, then once you get the quality, then you can add quantity back on in if you want to, but it's like it's just like, I forget who said it, but it's okay, good. um, yeah, it's just like learning to slow down and to really get connected and feel the muscle. It's about that first. That's quality. That's where you go from, okay, I'm going to do 20, you know, and you're just doing 20 or whatever. And it's like, you know, it's not about the quantity. So again, it's not what you do or how many you do. It's how you do what you do. And how you do what you do comes from the inside. Because then when you're aware of that and you have that quality and you're getting inside the muscle, that's when it really changes. And it's like, I love teaching about that, you know, that and, you know, getting in touch with your body, getting in your body and form, you know, and then taking it to, you know, whatever level you're taking it to. And everybody's an individual. And that's why I'd really like to do the messenger room, if you guys are on Facebook, you know, messenger room classes, you know, where, you know, if you have something that you're doing, you know, and you're not feeling it right, you know, just like an example of like feeling your hip flexors instead of your core. You know, there's always a reason, I think, as to why you're not feeling what you're supposed to feel. And if you can explain it well, you know, writing, I can probably usually maybe have an idea of why, but if I can like see you guys, you know, and we're actually working out together, like a class, it would be just like a class in person, you know, a few of us together and like doing a class that way, then I can like really watch your form. Yeah, are you guys, I know Susan's on Facebook, but you know, that would be fun too, I think. So yeah, let me know. You know, it was fun being here with you guys and talking about this stuff. And you know, whenever I do future lives, you know, you guys don't be shy, don't be afraid to like comment and be shy. And yeah, you know, I'll try to post. I wasn't sure exactly what we were going to do today. I thought probably abs, but if I do come on tomorrow or Tuesday, it's either going to be back and arms or legs, depending, because I have another channel that I'm doing too. So I did legs with that one last time. So oh, good. Yes, I agree. It was nice meeting everybody. I talked to Ruth a little bit last night. I talked to Light in the Piazza. Yeah, who else? And then Susan, I talked to Susan often. Ruth. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm not sure. So I'll be either on here Monday or Tuesday probably, because I'm going to do one here and then one probably on my other channel too. So probably, I'm not sure. You know, I just like am like an in the moment person. So, you know, and it's like, I notice this, like, I, it's not that I have a hard time committing, because I know how to commit, because I committed 11 years of competing and always wanted to give up. It's like, nope, I got to keep going. I committed until I got my pro card. So I know how to commit, but it's just like, yeah, I'm committing to being on here. I'm just not sure which days and what we're going to do exactly. So that's better, right? I am committing to being on here. And I'm trying to decide, you know, how I want to do it between this channel and my other channel. And yeah, and then it depends. Like today, I always try to post, and I'll give you a time frame, usually like within a half an hour. Try to be on between this time and this time, and it's usually going to run over, just so you know that about me, because something always happens, you know, with something. I needed to do something with one of my older doggies, which it's going to be time to probably put her down soon. So yeah, she had gotten up from her nap, and she had to go potty and stuff. I was ready to come on here, so I had to do that and then give her a little snack and then get her some water and then put her down again. So it seems like being at home, there's always something that comes up. So when I give you a time frame, just know it's going to be somewhere around that time frame. So that's about the best I can do right now. And I'll always try to post it on the community tab for this channel when I'm going to be live, and then on the other channel I post it on Facebook. So just so you guys know. And if you guys are on Facebook and want to be a friend, just send me a friend request, and just make sure you tell me that it's you, because I used to accept a lot of people in the beginning. Now it's like, if I don't really know you, I don't accept it anymore. So I have 2 of them that say Clifta Lene Perez. So I'm actually on a horse. It's me on a horse with some sunglasses. That's the one you want to look for. So if you send me a friend request and just say, you know, I'm on your YouTube channel, then I'll accept you. So then I'll post things there too for here. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and end this. We're almost at 2 hours. Wow. This was really fun. It's time for me to drink my drink. And actually, I'm going to take this. I think I'm just going to add some protein powder to it now too. And yeah, so it was great meeting you that I haven't met before, and Susan and Vic. It's always good to see you guys on here. I don't know if Vic's still here, but anyway, I'm going to go ahead and go. Pretty soon my lights are going to be going out. Which I did just put new batteries in my lights. So I got a double set of batteries for my lights just yesterday, I think it was. So if they go out, I have batteries, but I didn't plan on my computer going out. And my mics were pretty charged, but I had done a live before, so they weren't fully charged. So yeah, I better go. It's time for me to eat. You guys need to go eat something, get some protein after the abs and a little bit of chest things that we did, okay? So hope you guys have a great day. God bless you, and I'll probably see you guys Monday or Tuesday if you want to come hang out with me again, okay? And it'll be for, like I said, depending on what day I come on, either back and arms or legs, okay? Just so you guys know. So I will see you guys soon. Bye-bye. Oh, wait, it's like, oh, shoot. See, I don't know what happened to my chat. I just thought to, like, check it. Oh, shoot. I'm sorry about that. Okay, somehow the chat must have got turned off or something. I don't know what, okay, wait, let me see. So Ace of Spades, the subject was abs and chest and being in your body. It was a really good conversation if you want to go back and watch it after it's live. Thank you, Susan. You too. Thank you, Ruth. Okay, you guys, I'm caught up with I'm sorry about that. Gosh, I don't know what happened. Usually it like pops up and I see it. Oh, wait, let me just try something real quick. Um, okay. Okay, I think I might have turned it off. Maybe when I moved my phone. So, okay. Anyway, I will see you guys next time. Okay, have a great day. Bye bye.